Hey, how are you?
Hey Manu, what's up? Sorry I didn't have time to look at this yet.
I've just returned from vacation myself, so.
Nice. Where'd you go?
See my parents and my parents-in-law. Good for the kids. Hey, Richard.
I think today's holiday in US. I don't know who's gonna
Yeah, it's
join.
Memorial Day. Sorry
Yeah.
for that. Yeah. Hello, Mohan. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi. Is this your first time on the serverless workflow call?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm joining. I tried to call a couple of times, but I missed the meetings. Today I want to join the meetings. That's why. Hi,
That's
guys.
great. Welcome.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you. Do you want to be associated with any company?
Yeah, I'm working in Cedro Limited.
Oh, excuse me. Could you repeat that, please?
Cedro SI.
Seto SA.
I can ping you in
Please
the
spell
chat
it?
if you.
Or in the chat, yes, that would be
Yeah.
nice. Thanks. So Sidero Limited. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Hey Yanagan. Hey Antonio.
Hi, sorry, I was in mute. How are you?
Hi, Marty.
Okay, it is Memorial Day today, so I don't know how many more will join. However, I just pinged Ricardo. He was online a minute ago, and he asked me to put something on the agenda. It's an issue from the diagram service. And Tiomir is just adding the logo proposals that we have received from the CNCF for Synapse. Okay. Thanks, Tiomir. That's great. Okay, so let's just get started. Are there any community questions, anything you'd like to ask or bring up? No? Okay, then I had an action item to schedule a call, task force, a sub call, so to say, and I made a doodle for tomorrow and the day after to this. So these are the options. Let me just show it. And beware, it's in my time zone. So this is Central European summertime, 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. tomorrow or the day after. And please indicate your availability if you would like to join the discussion on the standing issue that we've had for quite a while, the expressions versus string interpolation in our workflow language. So using JQ and the problems that we discussed in the last calls. Then let me try ping Ricardo again. Hi, Charles. Can you hear me? Cheryl? Okay, it's the mic once again. Let's get a look. Let's have a look at this. So the suggestion is to migrate the workflow diagram services currently hosted internally from, I believe, Red Hat, right, on Heroku, and to use the free tier or start with that. I'm not sure if there's any CNCF service that we could use to host such like Java applications. I know we have the container dev, but that's I believe it's to develop debug issues or something. So to have a live development, it's not to serve any applications. Hey, Ricardo, hi.
You gotta check the Netlify. We do have Netlify paid, but I can check with CNCF to see if they have any other service available to us to do this, or already maybe an account that we can use.
Do you
I
think
can
it would
check
be
with that.
possible to host it on Netlify?
No, I don't think so. Netflix won't support it. I took a look at the time when we started working with it, and no, wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, but just
Netlify
like
just for
ahead.
static content. But you know, Heroku will do. The free tier is like okay for what we need. But you know, if you got some contacts on CNCF, if they have some sort of containers orchestration, some place to deploy the Docker image, would be nice. Otherwise, I can work with Mauricio to deploy that on Heroku. Should be easy.
Yeah, and there is other options, and I was gonna talk about it. I think long term, we currently use the Java SDK to generate the images, so that's why it kind of has to be a Java application. But I was gonna say, like, and Antonio too, I'd really like long term to move the diagram generation to the TypeScript SDK, and check out this as well. I'll put it in the chat. It's very similar to Plant UML that we use currently, and it's probably even
cool.
yeah, and it's HTML based, so it's like it would probably then be able to do static content, hopefully, and then host it on Netlify too.
That would be
but
nice,
I don't know,
yeah.
that would be long term, but for now, yeah, we gotta resolve this if possible.
It is not an urgent matter for, let's say, something like a
Okay.
it is not something that we need to move or anything like that. There's no one is asking for me to move or anything like that. It's just for for governance, openness. Like if something happens, everyone in the community can take a look, just for that matter. But yeah, let me know if we have something in Heroku under CNCF account or any other providers, so I can work with it with Mauricio, and then we can migrate to this new platform.
I'll do that, and then I'll try to have something for next Monday, some information.
No hush, dude.
Thanks.
One question, is it a serverless setup? So can it work with on-demand requests or?
Heroku works with on-demand requests in the free tier. So if there's no request, there's no pod. But for this specific case, and the infrastructure that we are using now, it is a plain old Kubernetes. There's we don't need anything fancy like persistence or serverless nor anything like that. It is just
And that's what I thought. So the pure rendering service, I meant, does it have to run as a container all the time, or can it be a job based or?
No. Oh, no. Yeah, have to be. Yeah, have to wake up on it receives a request, because it works like that. It receives a post request with the content of the workflow file, and then
well, but
generates
Knative would do, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay, nice. Thanks. And
No
for those
worries.
who miss, Ricardo and Charles, I put up a doodle to discuss the standing issue expressions versus string interpolation. If you like to
All right.
participate, please indicate your options. If you cannot make it and want to be part of the discussion, please tell me in time so I can add additional options to the doodle. That was really short term, and I'll reach out to the folks not on this call today due to Memorial Day. Okay, PRs. We've had the adding support for secrets and globals discussed last week, and I think the only addition that was requested by me was to have the mutual whether whether those globals and secrets are mutable or not. Meanwhile, I don't know. I think there has been a lot more discussion, right? Okay, no, not very much really. So I think this is ready to go. Are there any questions? Any open questions?
The only change that I added, what people requested, I added the both secrets and the other. Well, I'll get to that. Have to be mutable as per request, and Ricardo also requested to change globals to constants. Because of if they're immutable, then I guess that would be the more appropriate name for them. And I changed that as well. So just FYI, the latest changes of the PR, if anybody has any issues with it. Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody have an issue with merging this? Are there any open questions for Diomir? Anything you feel is not covered? No? Okay, then let me ask, are we okay with merging this?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay.
Just I'm sorry, Tiho. I forget. That was another issue about the transition thing. To separate that on a separated schema. But yeah, no worries. Let's move forward. Yep.
Okay, then approved. Thank you. I think this was the last one besides the work in progress, and we have a very new one, but I didn't put it up. Timmy, do you want to present it? The interrupt default property value?
Yeah, it's very small change. We had recently an issue to describe the interrupt property better. This has to do with the execution timeout on the whole workflow. The exact timeout property, which has a sub property called interrupt, and that property by default was false, even though the exact timeout should interrupt right away. And so what I did is I changed the interrupt property default value to true, so you don't have to specify it. And if you want your workflow to finish the current execution path before it stops execution, then you have to set it to false. So it's just a small change to change the default value to make it more obvious of what it does. That's it.
Yeah,
I'll link it to the issue, and if there is still more questions on the issue, we can wait till next week for this to see if there's anything else I need to do or we need to do.
Also, so is my understanding correct that if any implementation existing workflow expects not to interrupt but to wait for the completion, this would be a breaking change, right? So I mean, anyways, we're not yet 1.0, but this would be breaking change for implementations that are currently using the default faults.
Yeah,
this.
if you're using 06 and have this implemented, it would be a change where you would have to change your workflow definitions.
I think it's good
remove,
to do those
I'll
sort
do
of
that.
things in time.
Good idea.
While we're still not 1.0, I think it's not a problem at all. But yeah, let's give it the usual
And
time.
I'll add that in the README. That's actually a very good idea to mention that in the README. Thank
Cool. Does anybody want to discuss any specific issues? I know we have a few open ones. No, then maybe we can make this a short call. Let's hear from the sub-projects then. Oh, before we come to the most exciting topic, of course, the logo for Synapse. Sub-project report. So Java SDK. Any updates?
you. No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
No.
that's perfectly fine. That's all okay. It's just let's go through the list and see if there are any. Golang SDK also, was that a no, Ricardo?
Yeah, it's there now.
Okay, thanks. TypeScript.
Yeah, there is a discussion around how to implement serialization and deserialization, and we hope to have something for next meeting next Monday. At least
Okay.
an agreement about how to implement it. Some work already done.
Should we? Oh yeah, just for next week, then just add an agenda item if you want it discussed in the call. That's fine.
I mean, discussion. I mean, in GitHub.
Yeah.
Okay. If we have any trouble with that, we can discuss. No problem.
Yeah. If you want anything
Yeah,
resolved live,
okay.
rather than
Okay.
having the back and forth on yeah, it's
I
always
understand.
you can always add an item to this agenda or just ping me and I do it. So you can have the discussion live in the call.
Perfect. Much appreciated.
.NET. Charles, is your microphone working?
I think he said no, Mike. So
Okay.
says no.
Nope. Okay. Anybody else?
This keyboard
have
is not
any?
working either. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Then Synapse. Yes, let's have a look at the logos then. Okay, these are the proposals we got from the CNCF, but I'll just hand over to you, Tirmir. So,
well, I mean, we raised the Jira when we this is the same approach we did with our specification. We had a logo, but once we officially kind of got all the support from the CNCF side as a sandbox project, one of the things is their design team. So as we added Synapse, we went through CNCF, of course, to find out how we should do it. And so we added that via vote, public vote, and then we also wanted to have a separate logo for it. It's kind of like its own type of runtime thing that hopefully many more can join. But we found out, I mean, we as Charles and myself, Charles found it actually looking at the top middle logo, the little circle with another semicircle, another project is using it. We found a project that has the exact same logo, so that one is out of the question. But Charles said that he really wanted this to be a public community vote of which one of these logos. And even with the specification one, we didn't really like, I think, at the beginning any of them, and we asked for a second round. So that's also an option that if we don't like any of these, we're not forced to, and we can probably request another round of icons from them. I think that's it. Yeah, I think I like the brain ones. I guess I really like the top middle one, but now that it's kind of out of the question, maybe one of the ones with the brains. But who knows? It's up to the community.
How should we go about this? Should we open a Survey Monkey form that people can rate the individual logos? Should we do it on? I think last time we just did it on Slack, right?
Yeah, it's either in Slack or if you want to do something better this time, whatever your suggestion is, that's fair. What people want to do.
Okay, let me think about something, and let's take this offline, and then once we come up with something, yeah, let's make it a vote, or not a vote, more of a rating, and then we can go with the results next week and see, because you mentioned the possibility to have a second round. So if they are all come back bad, then we also have enough to say we'll ask for improvements. Okay, something with free text also. Okay, that's cool. It's actually a very short call. We would have more time. So let me just put it under AOB. Oops. Does anybody have another topic to discuss?
I put a link in there in the chat for our little poll that we created in the chat, in the Slack channel. If anybody wants to suggest any features, maybe we can add stuff to it.
All right, that's the features of serverless workflow, right?
Yeah, it's gonna stay out there, so it's not something urgent or anything, but it would be nice to kind of start getting feedback of features that we might want to add or should consider adding according to people.
Okay, if there's nothing else to discuss, that's, I think, very good to have on Memorial Day, a very short call. Everybody can head off and celebrate. What do you actually do in the US for Memorial Day?
I work.
Okay, so at least you got half an hour back.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask, like, maybe Bohan wants to give us a minute just to describe how he found our project and what he's interested in. I would be very interested to hear a couple minutes of that. Is that okay to ask? Because he kind of new first time, right? Or is Yana Gunn also new?
Yeah, Janan here. So actually, this is my first kind of open source project just to that I joined. So just learning the stuff and all. So I just went. I mean, I did that bug testing and I did some few features, few bugs there, and then I was interested because I was working in a form-based workflow for a company. So I did some implementation there. So that's why I have this interest here. So that's why I joined here and like seeing what I can also kind of learn and also help in the community. So that's my kind of idea, joining to serverless workflow project.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hi, Mohan here. Yeah, basically, I've been working with the Commanda-based workflow engines for past 3 years. It's I've built a framework on top of it. It's basically meant to be used at a telecom domain. So then I started learning about container serverless. It's a self-learning basically. So combining these two things like workflows and serverless, I got to know the CNS, there's a project going on. So I thought of learning from you guys and just try to contribute back what can be possible from my side.
Oh, that's really cool. Thank you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I think this concludes the call, unless anybody wants to have another, wants to discuss another issue. No? Last chance. Then thank you very much for attending, and looking forward to get feedback on the Doodle poll for people interested in this offline discussion. and also for more serverless workflow features, please fill out the poll by Tiomir, and I'll let you all know probably through Slack how to vote on the logos. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Manuel, for moderating the meeting. See you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.